Hello, it's Simone. It's a beautiful morning, the day before I start my new job. But I am also in my mind preparing for the San Francisco Pen Show. And I thought that this would now be a good time to look at this fountain pen wish list again and bring you up to date what has happened since then, since I filmed that video, even though that was a bit out of date. And tell you what has happened and how this list is going to change dramatically. Now, I have been an Atlas affiliate since February of 2023, but it started take off for me. It started to take off for me right after I had filmed that video. And so I was actually able to obtain some pens, some items that not all of them were on this list, but several things, and add to my collection without spending my money, my hard-earned money, because I had payout from that affiliate money. And since most of that is a coupon or store credit, well, what else could I do other than purchasing fountain pens from them? That's partially what I did, but that really helped me in getting some of these pens from that list without actually scratching on my fountain pen budget. I think I talked about that in that video as well, that this would take quite a while, and it didn't take as long as it did because of me being an affiliate. I just wanted to put that out there because it felt really weird to then just take off buying all of those pens, even though I said I was going really, really slow. Now, I think what I'm going to do is talk about my old wish list and then tell you why I don't want those pens anymore, or maybe what is going to happen. All right, so the first one on my list, and I think these three I was actually thinking about looking at the San Francisco Pen Show, and I didn't really want to purchase any pens before that. Well, clearly that didn't happen because there were several pens that entered my collection since then. So I was able, basically a week after I filmed that video, I was able to purchase through Atlas this Esterbrook Esty in sea glass, and I got the sea glass because I was really drawn to it and because they didn't have the honeycomb in stock. I think, well, it depends on the price and what I can get. If I can get an Esty on secondhand and it's a color that I don't prefer, well, then that's it. But I got this with a regular medium nib. I enjoyed using this, and I did not really, I liked it enough, but it wasn't something that I was thinking of getting more and more and more. Now, this actually has changed. I since moved to an area where the climate is much drier, and I have found that with most of my pens, that is an issue. It's not an issue in those pens drying out, but it definitely, I can see that when I leave them and I ink up about 10 pens, which is also something that might be changing in the future, the ink evaporates, the water evaporates, and it leaves a darker ink in the pen, and then it writes really dark, not very close to what the fountain pen ink actually looks like. And that kind of bothers me. I don't know how much it bothers me, but it does to some effect. And I noticed that with these Esterbrook Esties and their spring-loaded inner cap, that doesn't happen. So these have become more interesting for me right now. who knows what I will be thinking about this in 2 or 3 months from now. But at the moment, as I'm filming this, I am thinking of getting more Esterbrook Estes because of that spring-loaded cap. So I actually did get another Esterbrook Estie, again with affiliate money, which is this Esterbrook Estie in Rainforest, because I was able to get this again through affiliate money, because it has a techo nib. And that's where I'm trending towards. Is currently I'm very, very interested in all the custom grind nibs. I talked about this previously, but this has kind of taken a life on its own. And this does not have the original nib that it had on it. This one I was able to purchase secondhand is a journaler nib. And yes, I was able to get this because I did not spend my pen budget, because I had been able to get quite some pens through affiliate money. So I hope I can stop talking about the affiliate money. I just wanted to be open and clear about this. This is not, well, I earned it. I made YouTube videos, but it's not like I am spending money that I don't have. So next was on this list was a Franklin Christoph Sig Fine. I'm currently thinking I would probably rather get a medium, because I do have the journaler, and that is ground from a medium nib, and I would really love to compare them more closely. And it says here, number 6, Jovo nib custom grind. I do have an appointment with Pen Realm Kirk's Beer at the San Francisco Pen Show, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get a custom grind or if I'm just going to have him tune some of my pens. It depends on the time. And yeah, we'll see. Then I also still have the Schoen Design Ultim, which I put in these brackets. And then I have Maker pens, and this says White Grip number 6 Jovo. In the last video, I talked about Walltown pens, and again, this was a secondhand pen that I purchased through the virtual pen show. It's a Walltown pens in the Watts model, and this blank is a turned Penco blank called Sebastian. And this is just exactly the coloring and the swirliness that I was looking for. I think I talked about that in that video, that I'm not really sure that I like all of those swirls. I much prefer these kinds of acrylic resins, and is this hand poured? Not sure. Then all of those swirls that intermingle. So this is a really great alternative. I don't know if I'm going to go down that rabbit hole right now. Other YouTubers and on Instagram, this is basically the next step that you would take. I like this pen a lot, but I'm not sure that I want to add a lot of them in my future. And then I'm still looking at the Schoen Design Ultim, and I actually, because I did not spend a lot of money on pens, just a little, I was able to save a lot of my budget. And so if I might be able to get this, but then I won't be able to get anything else. So I would love this with a monarch nib. I'm not sure I would get the Ultim pen without the monarch nib, but again, I'm really into the different nibs at the moment. So that's these 3. So I will not do anything with this right now. Then clicker pen. I'm going to take this off completely. Platinum Corridas, I don't have any interest in that anymore. Majan A1 extra fine for EDC pen. I'm also not interested in that anymore because I have found a different solution. So first of all, I wasn't really happy with the way I was able to hold this. I have since really fallen in love is the wrong word, but I have come accustomed to this, and I really enjoy using this pen now, but it's also something that I know I don't want to add more. So I don't need any more clicker pens. And for an EDC, I have found this, which is the TWSBI Mini. And this one has the reverse architect grind that I had ground on a TWSBI Eco on it. I really enjoy the line width and variability. Now I don't have a piece of paper to write on. Let me check this one. Yep. So I can write really fine lines. Wow. But I don't know if you can hear this. It feels kind of scratchy, especially on Tomoe River paper. So I'm thinking of, and I love using this for titles. I love this in my journal, which I use right here. Let me show you some of the writing I did. Is there anything? Nope. Maybe here. Yep, here. Like so. So I have found an everyday carry pen that I can use in that way. I am thinking of taking this to the pen show and asking Kirk, because that's who ground this nib in the first place, if there's anything that he can do to make this write a little bit smoother on the fine side, so it doesn't feel as if it was catching on. It sometimes feels like it catches fibers and then it becomes wider in the writing. So I would love this to work really, really well. And then I also, the Techo nib is very similar to this, and that you can write with it like so. If you write it with it at an angle, very high angle, you also get a really fine line. I have to admit, I haven't tried this yet, so I don't like the journaling in this really high angle, so I don't know if it works, but I love the line variation that you can get with this nib. It's so cool. So I definitely want to use it. I just haven't really braved the waters yet. So that's where I'm at with the maker pens, clicker pens. That's the solution for the EDC. Then Kaweco Sport Brass. So I have just removed this from my collection and put it into the giveaway pile because I just really can't deal with this pen. It's just too skinny and it never writes well enough that I enjoy the writing experience. And so I don't know if I then would like to add this same pen in a brass version, especially when I don't enjoy the aluminum grip of the TWSBI Mini. And I also don't really enjoy this is mostly because it's super thin, but it's also brass and it's very hard and metal, and so maybe I'm just not the metal pen type person. So this is, maybe I would love to try it if someone would lend this to me, but no. Pilot Parallel pens are still on my list. It's August and I still have so many things that I want to experiment with, so I'm going to put those over here. They would go back on there, but I don't know when. Then here is the Kaweco broad nib, and I had thought about getting a replacement nib and putting it on the AL Sport. However, I did actually sell that pen because I just really, again, it was so hard to hold the pen and I didn't enjoy the writing experience. Not the nib was the problem, it was the pen. And so, yeah, now I don't need a broad nib as well. I do still have this Kaweco frosted coconut with a double broad nib, and I just wanted to feel what the difference was between a medium and a double broad. But you can't really experience everything, and so I'm okay with keeping this in my collection and then giving this away and just stopping the Kaweco experience altogether. So this is gone. Then I really wanted to get the Twisby Mini in grape. I think that was announced after I filmed the video, and I had enough budget, so I got that. I got this with a broad nib because I wanted to give broad nibs another chance. I'm glad I did. So this is actually here. Then Walltown Pens is on here again. I do, as I showed you, have this one as well. And then I think I talked about this Benu Ambrosia in Brown Orchid. I had reached out to Benu and asked them if they would bring this pen to the San Francisco Pen Show. Luxury brands would. But they told me that this pen was exclusively sold on their website. And but they offered to send this pen to me for review, and I would be able to keep it. So that's how I got my hands on this pen. And yeah, again, wouldn't have happened if they didn't offer it to me. So I got that. Now, the Lamy Dialogue CC, on the other video, some commenters said they had this pen and they would want to send it to me, but they never reached out further, and so that didn't happen. But I'm not sure that I'm still, if I would be able to write with this for like a month or so, I would be really happy. But if this is also not going to happen, then I'm fine. Where am I going to put this? This goes away. And then I'm completely off this. This is the Ranga Monterey Cursive Italic Fine and Architect Fine. I watched Mysteries videos that I linked in the last video that I filmed about my wish list. And I think if I wanted to try out these nibs, I will have them ground for my hand and handwriting by a nib meister. So that puts this pen away. And now, let's see. So Esterbrook SD Journaler, I didn't show you how that writes because I like, here, this is the journaler nib. I haven't had much time to write with this yet, so the jury is still out if this is a nib that I like a lot. But now let's talk about the San Francisco Pen Show and what I want to look at and what I want to do there. I'm going to put this all the way down here. And then maybe we can talk about pens that I would like to try, but not necessarily purchase. So I am not going to go to the San Francisco Pen Show with the Esterbrook SD in mind. However, I do want to leave that on my list because, as I said previously, this is definitely a pen that if I want a nib holder pen, this would be a great contender. I do want to get a custom nib grind, and I am going to correct this into the medium. Now let's talk about the appointment with Penrealm. I have this pen. I said it before. The right side is maybe ultra extra fine, and it is super fine and very scratchy, and I want to ask Kirk if he can do something about that. And then I also, a viewer sent this Sailor Pro Gear Slim to me. And it is a medium fine nib. I have inked it now with platinum carbon black. It was really scratchy with the ink that she sent, that was still in this pen. It was scratchy with, or very dry with Waterman Serenity Blue, but with platinum carbon black, it is quite nice now. So now the question is, do I need a fountain pen with platinum carbon black again? So I have this one, and this one filled with them now. What purpose would they serve? So I'm thinking of maybe taking this and asking Kirk to make this wetter so I can use other inks in this besides platinum carbon black. And I have a question for you. Have you experienced that ink is wet as well? Or is that just my experience? I'm curious. So now this is a Sailor, and I have never used a Sailor before, but I really like this pen. I like the way the nib feels on the paper. So now my curiosity about Sailor pens has been awoken. I would love to, at the San Francisco Pen Show, compare this pen to a Sailor Pro Gear. And I would also like to see a Sailor 1911 large and just see what they feel like, what the grip section is. This pen is okay, but it's similar in, well, it's a little bit wider than the Kaweco, as you can see, but not by much. And so I would love to see what the next bigger pen models look like. I also really like the resin. It feels very well made, feels very luxurious. And so that's something that I would like to see. I would like to check out. I don't know that I would be able to buy one of those pens because they're super expensive. But yeah, if the Monarch nib doesn't work out, maybe that's a pen that I would get from the pen show. Then again, as I said, so this is the Franklin Christoph. I'm going to take this and rewrite it. So I would like to try a Schoen Design Monarch nib. And if that's a really great writing experience, I would love this with an Ultem in their full-size fountain pen model. We'll see if that's going to happen or not. This I will need to be very, very sure about, because this is about $500, and that's basically the budget that I have. And then I have nothing, zero left. I said, well, I want to rewrite this. So Franklin Christoph Sig medium. And then let me write the pen realm thing. Let me see, pen realm. I have several things that I would, so maybe tune. I'm going to write Pro Gear Slim. Tune the Reverse Architect. And then the other option that I have is a cursive smooth italic. And I'm not sure if I would love this in a medium or a fine, but since I am a medium person and I want the Franklin Christoph Sig medium nib, and I do have the journaler nib in, they're all medium. It would be the most, the best comparison if I got a medium nib on that as well. So we'll see how much time he has. I will tell him what I'm thinking, and then he can tell me how much time this will take and if he can get to all of those things. And that's I want to, that's what I'm going to write down here. I want to Sailor Pro Gear or a Sailor 1911 large. Because this is a medium fine nib, I would really love to see what a medium feels like and broad feels like. So that's basically the things that I'm going to look at. I'm not planning on purchasing. Well, I'm planning on purchasing this. So these things are set. I have an appointment. The rest is more looking and feeling things out, coming back and telling you that I won't buy any of those because no, they don't fit my hand or whatever. Other things I would like to do at the pen show is I have a code from Vanessa Pens. I would like to go there and say hi and introduce myself. So I might come back and tell you that I was too chicken. And then the other thing, because this video is coming out on the pen show day, I'm not feeling really bad if this is not going to happen. But yeah, I'm a YouTuber, right? So I should be able to like walk up to people and say, hey, I'm a YouTuber. How about collaborations? Last year, I was too chicken about that, but maybe I really don't know how I would do that, to be honest. And I feel like sometimes, now this is like all the way deep down, there's so many people who are like these old fountain pen community people that have been going to the pen shows since forever. They're all influencers. Everybody knows everybody. How do I like intrude without being an intruder? So yeah, chicken. Because I would really love to talk to Estabrook. And yeah, that might sound weird, not specifically for the pens, but I would love to try the pen roll. I have this idea in my head comparing pen rolls from Rickshaw, Estabrook, and this one, and see how many pens they can hold, how they are holding up. I don't have a Rickshaw pen roll, and I also don't have an Estabrook pen roll, so that would be something that I would love to do. But that would mean that I have to talk to at least 2 vendors at the pen show. Yeah, now that I'm talking about this, I'm like really feeling the pits in my stomach. I don't really do that kind of stuff. What else? That's it for the San Francisco Pen Show-ish. I was thinking of getting another appointment with another nib smith, but to be honest, I don't have that much experience with custom ground nibs, and I think getting too much at the beginning when I don't really know what I actually want isn't the right way to go. So I need to take it slow, and maybe next year I can try a different nibmeister. I plan on just walking around there, looking what they have. I'm thinking about maybe paper from what's their name? The Japanese. I remembered it last time. I need to look it up and put it on here. If Nagasawa is here, I would love to get the Kobe number 34 Surakuren green tea if they bring it. that's something that's on my list, and that's all. I just want to walk around and look what they have and not spend too much money on things, but those are the things that I'm going to look at. Another pen that I'm really curious about, actually have been for a while, is the Pelikan M800. And same with the Sailor Pro Gear and Sailor 1911. Let's put those over here. This I'm going to look at the San Francisco Pen Show, but I'm going to take this over here and I'm going to make another list. So if I could try these pens, then I would love to try those. These I'm super curious about. And another pen that I have not even talked about yet, that some of my YouTube friends have a lot of them or not, and that is super in the fountain pen community. Lots of people collect them. Lau from Kenshin Crafts has a lot of them, is the Leonardo pens. I don't even like, I remember from his videos that there's like something that is Leonardo Magico. Is it Momento Magico? There's a Leonardo Momento Zero. There's a Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. I would have to do research first to tell the difference, of those pens. And to understand what the differences are before I would even be able to say, I would like to look at this pen first. But maybe when I'm at the pen show, maybe there's someone who has all of those vendors. So these are some of those pens that I would love to try, maybe get my hands on. Another pen that I would really love to try at the pen show is the Pilot Justice. And I would also, while I'm at the topic of pilots, I would also like to try the Falcon nib. Again, I tried it last year and I didn't get along with this nib at all. But you know, a year has passed and I have more experience now. Maybe it's different now. So these are, I'm going to move this around. So these are pens that, since I'm going to the pen show, I might want to look at the vendors and see if they, or sometimes there's also the distributors of those pens there, that like Pilot, you can try most of the pens there. So if they are there, I'd love to check those out, and just even hold a Pelikan M800. From the measurements, from what I see on YouTube, I think this is the pen that would best fit my hand. But do I know? No. This would be a fun pen that I would love to try at some point, but that's not even necessary. And then this is also something that I would love to try. And then this is one of those I'm not a completionist, but I see right now the advantage of having those pens over maybe one of those, or even I have used the Benu, it's dark, the Lamy, the is dark. So yes, I know that those are more expensive, but I can actually understand why. And they're pretty as well. So last part of this video is, let's talk about pens that I am currently thinking of selling. Or not thinking of selling in, I just need to photograph and sell. But those are pens that are on the list that might be leaving. This one I know for sure. It breaks my heart, to be honest. It's so pretty and I love the patina on it, but the grip section is too narrow. I cannot write with this without getting hand cramps after like 2 paragraphs. This one has, I'm not sure that I love this design. I love this color. I love everything about this pen. The only thing that I don't love about this pen is how the cap does not seal. This is the worst of all the pens that I have. And so maybe this is just not the right pen for me. But it really hurts to think about even letting this go. This one, I'm not sure if I still need this pen in my collection. It's a lovely pen. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. But I do have other Pilot pens that I'm using more and prefer over this. So I'm not sure that I should be holding on to this longer. And I saw a video by, maybe it was a live by Hemingway Jones, where he said he needs to keep pens for YouTube. I still haven't gotten there, that I just keep pens because of YouTube. Maybe a TWSBI, maybe a Kaweco, but not pens that are priced like this. And then the last one that I'm thinking about is the Opus 88 Coloro. I am just preferring number 6 nibs more than number 5, and this is the only number 5 pen that I have. So these two are really close to being photographed and sold. These two I still have to think about some more. But that's where I'm currently at with my collection. I am planning on filming a collection video for October. Still a while out, but that would be a year after I filmed the last video, which I really like that idea. And that's it from me. What is on your fountain pen wish list, and what has changed since the last time that you thought about that? I would love to hear in the comments down below. I would love to hear your opinions on my wish list, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.